What's going on, guys? Jimmy James Garage. Thanks for tuning back in. Making some progress here. So let's see here. The Cobra. We got everything put back together. The exhaust tightened all up. We got all the O2 sensors connected, and there's a cable connection I want to show you guys real quick. So I don't even know if I can point it out on here because I got all the wires. So I got MIL, like those eliminators, so they're false O2 sensor readings that they send to the computer. But as far as the government's concerned, this car does have cats, as far as the government's concerned. But yeah, so the oxygen sensors are on these two sides, and then up on the side of these TR3650s, the speedometer sensor is kind of like right up on there on the left. And somebody did like this aftermarket recalibration for the 410 gears. It's like this little box. So on my car, it has two wires going to that, and then the other two split off to this connector that's right here. And if you don't plug that in, your speedometer is not going to work. And sometimes too, as these cars get older, the wires start the pins start pulling out of these plastic connectors. So you got to make sure they're in there good. I just electrical tape the crap out of them, make sure they stick in there tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the car in jack stands till I get it started. I'm going to listen for exhaust leaks down here and make sure that the speedometer is working, and just make sure we don't have any leaks since I just did all that new RTV. And yeah, the drive shaft went back in. It's so much, like before that thing would come out all loosey-goosey, and since I put that new bushing, it's pretty firm. There's no play in it anymore, so I'm pretty sure I pray to God that fixes the leak, because I've been fighting this leak for like the last 6-7 years. I paid a shop to fix it. I paid a shop to do all this when they did my clutch. And hold on, I'm getting up. And the shop, I'm not even gonna throw their name out there, and I knew the person personally, but man, I really got bent over real bad. I was definitely a little bit butthurt about it, because I spent like, I don't know, 12, 13, 1400 bucks. Had the clutch done, had the flywheel resurfaced. But yeah, I said, hey, I got a leak on the tail shaft seal. I need that replaced. Look into it. When you're doing my car, if there's anything else needs to be replaced, just let me know. Well, you got it apart. You know, I'd rather pay for it. Well, you already got everything apart versus having to pay X amount of labor to get it done again. So, you know, obviously my shifter fork was trashed. The pivot ball was trashed, as you guys seen in the last video. So the guy really did some chachi shit, in my opinion. So it's like I got screwed there. It prematurely wore out my throwout bearing. So, you know, I got that fixed. That's been holding up good. That little spring thing I did underneath, that's been holding up well too. As you guys saw, I put like there are a couple little springs over the clutch cable underneath the inspection shield, and I used two little springs and put them together. And when I was underneath my car here, I made sure I checked that and make sure they weren't getting bound up and then anything bad looking down there, and everything looks good. But yeah, I told the shop, you know, I got my car back after they did the clutch, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm leaking transmission fluid like this, and I showed them a picture of the tail shaft seal. I'm like, hey, the seal's already bad or something, or did you guys replace it? And then through the picture, he's like, hey, your yoke looks scored up on your drive shaft. He's like, you probably need a new yoke on your drive shaft, a new drive shaft yoke. And I'm like, all right, so that's my fault because you guys didn't like inspect that properly. So I don't know, he ended up covering the part. I still had to pay for the labor, but at that point I'm like, I'm just gonna get an aluminum drive shaft. So I ended up purchasing an aluminum drive shaft because the yoke was gonna be like $100, $120. I was like, I'll just put that money towards an aluminum drive shaft. So when I got that done, took it back, and then sure enough, I always had like a 1-2 little drops in the garage. I'm like, whatever, I don't even care. I'm wiping my hands of it. But it's still not right. That's not how it should have been. Well, I noticed after, my previous videos about how I had all that smoke coming out of my car, and I was leaking transmission out of I'm pretty sure which was the shifter, the top of the shifter plate on top of the transmission. I think, as you're really winding higher RPMs on the engine, I think it just kind of spits transmission fluid up towards the top shifter there, and it probably just found the weakest spot, and that LMR gasket was sandwiched out, and it didn't really fit. It didn't fit properly enough, so I think it just kind of blew it out, because I don't see anywhere where these transmissions have a venting spot or little vent holes. I've never seen one on here, and I feel like I've looked over this transmission pretty good by now. I know it way better than I should know it. I don't like transmission work. So that being said, when I was underneath the car, I was like, I saw that seal, and I heard someone saying like, hey, a good way to see if your bushing's bad is to take your drive shaft yoke, and if it has any play, like side to side or up and down, your bushing's more than likely bad. Well, it had a little bit for sure. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to buy a new bushing. Shout out to Hanlon Motorsport, because I couldn't find these Tailshaft bushings anywhere on the internet. Couldn't find on Rock Auto. Couldn't find on any of the websites anywhere. So I've heard about Hanlon Motorsports a lot through some YouTube channels I follow, and Neo Mustangs talks about them a lot. And I've also always heard them on like Facebook groups. Everyone's like, hey, Hanlon can build a TR 3650. So I called them. Really nice, sweet lady answered the phone. I told her what was going on. She's like, yeah, I know exactly what seal you need. All right, or the bushing. All right, we'll get it shipped out to you. Sorry, still covering from the vid, but yeah, they got it sent out to me. It fit perfect, and now I got it back together. So if this car leaks any more transmission fluid, I'm done with it. I'm sorry, guys. I've been through the ringer with this car. I know it way too well. I've taken good care of it. Had it for, I don't know, 11 or 12 years, a long time, and I fixed a lot of stuff that previous owners just half-assed or shouldn't have been working on cars, and yeah, that's where I'm at now. It's always something with these cars. And as they're getting older, it's not like they get more reliable with age. The engine itself's been pretty solid. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through later on. My kid's taking a nap. I'll start it up, check for exhaust leaks, and I'm gonna leave it up on jack stands till tomorrow and make sure I'm not leaking any transmission fluid overnight. And if that's the case, I'm gonna take it out tomorrow and give this old girl a bath, because she is filthy. So sorry, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and actually I'll add this on. But yeah, if this is helping any of you guys out there, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Every little bit helps. I greatly appreciate it, guys. I'll add on to this video here in a little while. Alright, guys, I'm back. Got Cobra running. I ran it through the gears, checked the exhaust leaks, and so far so good. So just want to let you guys know that's what's going on. Take it out tomorrow, take it to the car wash, hopefully do like underbody wash, get all the old oil, hopefully I can spray all that crap off, and get it cleaned up. I'm sure my little dude's ready to go for a ride. He'll be stoked. So, alright, guys, thanks for following along on this, and hopefully it should be good to go, and hopefully I won't be doing any transmission work for a long time. Alright, later, guys.